that's all you're talking about, that's a red flag for friendships. Hi and welcome, my name is Elisa aka Simslayer, and welcome to my channel. How many days have you ever had in your life where you were just lonely or feeling alone or did not do anything with other people and did not socialize, and in result of that you felt just terrible and left alone? I'm sure many people have felt this way at some point in their life, and while it is kind of hard to feel those feelings and to go through those feelings, it is essential to grow out of your comfort zone during those phases. In those phases themselves, you experience what it's like to be left alone with your own thoughts, with your own being, and you have to realize, am I a person that I would hang out with if I was not myself? So basically imagine you in your whole being are basically two people in one room. So you have your mind and maybe your other brain half or something like that. Just imagine it like that. And would you perceive yourself as someone interesting or charismatic? Because loneliness itself is not a bad thing, despite popular belief that being lonely and alone is something bad. Isolation is bad, sure, but isolation is not something that just occurs out of nowhere. It's something you do purposefully. So you have the purpose of isolating yourself from your family members, from your partner, from your friends, whoever it might be. But you gotta see loneliness not as the feeling of being alone and isolated, but more of the solitude that you feel around it. So solitude in itself is not something bad. It makes you enjoy the time you have with yourself. It makes you delve deeper into your own being, into your own soul, into your interests, your dreams, your fears, aspirations. And I believe that this is like the main point of growing as a person itself. Because during this phase, you might have super depressive episodes, but after those depressive episodes vanish, when they're gone, when you've dealt with them, basically, you will know a different kind of need that you are missing in your life. Because if your body is missing something, if your soul is aching and you're missing something, may it be friends or hobbies or a good job, a good career, then it actually manifests itself in the emotional sphere as well. For instance, you're all alone and you're thinking of, why am I not getting this certain job? Why is this fear of not getting the job inside of me? Then to translate this kind of fear, the behavior that your body is giving you, which is isolating itself and trying to dig deeper into your soul, is to find out what kind of job your soul actually desires. Another example might be friends. So when you're in a big group, a big setting of people, and you're kind of feeling still very lonely or just left out, then you have to dig into your soul and dig into your feelings and ask yourself or your other half, which I always like to imagine, what kind of friend group do I aspire to have? Why is this group not fulfilling? What is hindering me from connecting with this group that I'm in right now? I believe that those questions can guide you to understand your own feelings better. And this is the key point in growing as well. So now that we know what it is we're seeking or what we actually want from life, we have to act upon it. We can act upon it while being isolated or while being alone, but it surely is not the best thing to do. When it comes to personal issues, for example, you're feeling anxious in certain situations and you need to figure out how to solve this anxiety inside of you, then sure, you might need alone time to dive deeper into your own being and ask yourself more questions, somehow like self-therapy. But when it comes to other parts, for example, you're feeling lonely because you're missing out on friend groups, then it's better to reach for help, because people are super willing to help. This is one of the psychology facts that many people forget most of the time. They love being asked for help. It's just very simple psychology of humans. I myself had to learn that throughout life, because I never liked asking for help, especially not when it was strangers, but also friends. So it was super hard for me to just go out of my way and ask them, hey, I'm struggling with this issue. Do you have a solution? Could you help me? It often helps to just talk about the topic itself with a friend, because they simultaneously just come up with new options, new solutions that you may not think of. Another important thing to consider is that, and you do not need to have all kinds of people around you all the time. There are certain groups of people that you are more attracted to than others. So you do not need to just go out with Stacy because she's your neighbor and she wants to hang out with you. Do you feel connected to Stacy? Do you want to talk to Stacy? Does she inspire you, motivate you? And if yes, in what direction does she inspire or motivate you? Does she inspire you to go out drinking more and, I don't know, destroy your health? Or does she inspire you to become a better person and to work on your health, on your self-image, stuff like that? So just be more picky with the friends you have and the people you hang out with. Because there actually is a saying that the 5 people that you hang out most with are literally your mirror. It's like your reflection or something like that. And I really do believe that. So be more picky, even if it leaves you in solitude or lonely. Bad company is much more expensive than no company in terms of how much energy and motivation. Personal currency might also be status. For example, if you hang out with people that do you harm, that gossip behind your back, gossip behind other people's backs, then it also affects your social currency, so to say. It affects your image. So if they found out that you are hanging out with the queen of gossip, then they assume that you might also be the queen of gossip and therefore do not trust you as much. So just be more careful when it comes to those kind of people. And all in all, just date your friends, basically. Before you actually have a very close bond with your friends, may it be a best friend or a friend group, just try to figure out how they think, how they act, whether it represents your own interests and well-being as well or not. Because the people you spend so much time with are your friends too. Just like your partner. So you would not just date every second guy that you see on the street, right? So you would also not be friends with every second guy that you see on the streets. And just keep that in mind. Like, the people you hang out with in your free time are just as valuable as the partner you sometime will date. And while that might be a bit hard to do, I still believe that it's better than being stuck in a wrong company, than being stuck in fake friendships, in gossiping, in putting each other down. And I know many young people, they tend to just hang on to friendships or friend groups that might not do them any good, but they need something to socialize. And that is good that they want to socialize, but it's even harder for them to then let go of the friend group that is maybe bringing them down, maybe just harassing them, or gossiping a lot. I know gossiping is a big factor. It might be sounding harmless to you because gossiping is just talking bad about someone, but it's much more than just talking bad. It's putting yourself up so others are feeling down. It's comparing each other. It's competition. It's a lot of competition. Female friendships and competition. That's a big one. You do have to be more careful with your female friends, especially when they're talking a lot about boys, or if they're man crazy, or if they are very centered around male validation. They are not good for you. I know it might be fun to talk about boys all the time and to speculate and hear the crazy news about who are you texting right now on your phone, and Jeff wrote me, but Francis sent me a text where he said that he loves me and stuff. I know it's girly, it's just feminine to talk about this. It's super interesting to find out and figure out how those relationships are building up and where they're leading. But if that's all you're talking about, that's a red flag for friendships, because those women, those girls, those women just see competition in all other women surrounding them. Then there are 2 options to just diverge this attention from you to them. It's either gossip and talk bad about you, or the second option would just be make you less attractive than they are, by either giving backhanded compliments, giving some kind of suggestions that might ruin yourself. For example, you would look so great with red hair, but you're like a soft summer or something. Then you would know that soft summers and copper red hair do not really fit together. but you're just trying it out because the suggestions come from your best friends, and your best friends are there to help you, are there to know you and support you with everything. So she must be right, right? No. Then you try it out. It looks awful, but you stick with it because your girlfriends keep giving you compliments that it looks so great and you should keep up the red hair color because it looks so natural on you. And one day when you will actually grow up and your frontal lobe thing develops fully, you look back at those photos and those friends and you just realize how fake everything was. It was just to diverge the attention that you were getting onto the whole friend group. And those were just a couple of tips to consider whether you should be lonely, in solitude, or in groups of people, or seeking out strangers, new friends. And I hope to be seeing you again soon. And I hope you enjoyed it. I like talking about it and sharing my knowledge with you because I believe that everyone can benefit from each other. So just share more tips or experiences in the comments below. Thank you so much and